Readers, we are lucky to live in some pretty exciting times in terms of technology. Today, if you love to listen to people tell their stories or teach you about interesting topics, you can listen to podcasts. If you love visuals, you can watch documentaries or how to videos or read interactive journals. Chances are, some of you may have already read in these ways in your free time. Do you listen to podcasts? Do you watch informational videos such as YouTube how to videos or documentary shows such as Planet Earth? Or have you read journalism online, articles where you can click for more information and that include graphics and sometimes embedded video or audio? Well, today we'll start reading in some of these digital formats. As some of you know, these kinds of texts are not just informative, they're really fascinating to listen to and watch. People get hooked on a particular podcast or series, and they just have to listen to or watch the next installment when it comes out. Being able to hear people tell their own stories or see the settings you've learned about can be a huge support for understanding. Knowing how to use these different technologies will help you be a better, more contemporary reader and researcher, and will likely grow your love of nonfiction at the same time. This week, we will continue our study of literary nonfiction, moving it into these other digital arenas. To give what you're listening to and watching a focus, you'll follow up on an issue or a topic that you've already been thinking about in a book you're reading. You've got two main goals in this last part of the unit. The first is to keep adding to your thinking, since these new texts will open up new questions and help you make brand new connections. You'll use these issues to think more deeply about your topic and to write about them. The second goal is one of comparison. You'll be thinking, of all the texts I've read, watched, and listened to on this issue, which one would I most recommend to others? Which one teaches about this issue in the most interesting and powerful way? As a final project, you'll get to write or record a review of the text you preferred as a way to advertise it to others. To get ready for all of this, today you'll have a chance to sample these digital experiences. It's going to look a little different from other lessons because you'll spend more time browsing these texts, enjoying them, and thinking about what's different when reading in these formats. Today we will conduct an inquiry, and the questions we'll investigate is what's appealing about digital nonfiction and what's tricky. Today you will get to experience each of the three kinds of digital text. The point is not to learn all you could from these amazing texts, or even to finish them, but to browse among these great texts and to think about what's appealing, what made it fun or powerful, and what was kind of tricky. And then take some time to jot down your analysis before moving on to the next text. Now, readers, remember that you're not focusing just on the content of these texts, but mostly on what's appealing and what's tricky about digital text. You'll want to spend most of your time thinking about our inquiry as you read, listen, and watch. And then you'll have the links to each of these resources if you want to revisit or read on later. So now you'll go back to the lesson platform for this activity where you'll have the links to these different texts.